Hi parents and families, this is Crystal Strader, Curriculum Facilitator for Middle Grades Math. This is the first in a series of videos intended to assist you in supporting your middle school student at home. Today, we're going to talk about the homework struggle is real. The goal of this video is to talk about why math homework looks so different from when many of us were math students and to provide some strategies and resources to support your student at home. Posts very similar to this one are making their way around social media, and there are probably some heads nodding from some of us that even have shared this post on our personal pages. Posts like this are a result of the fact that we have decontextualized and dehumanized mathematics to the point that it feels like a skill that only a few can achieve. But we are all mathematicians. Traditional mathematics relied on memorization of facts and processes, whereas the new math, as we lovingly refer to it, focuses on critical thinking and making math relevant and useful to everyday life. Our new standards take a balanced approach to mathematics, meaning that there is still a need for those basic math facts that we are used to, but there's also a growing need for students to understand the meaning behind these facts. In addition to the content standards, the North Carolina Standards has a set of math practices which help students think about and do mathematics. Those include persevering in problem solving, modeling with mathematics, as well as explaining their thinking. As students are working at home, there are several strategies you can use to support them. A few of those are listed on the slide. Let's take a look at that homework problem from before. How would you solve this problem? Let's take a look at some different strategies students might use to solve this. Some students, especially when working with newer concepts, might need to draw a picture to help them make sense of the problem. Here we can see the students are showing the design fee that they're paying up front, and then they have the visual representation of each t-shirt that's being purchased for $4 after that. Sometimes, instead of jumping right into the problem, it helps to use a simpler problem. Here, instead of determining how many shirts we can buy with $45, this student is looking at how much it would cost to buy one shirt and then two shirts, or how much they could buy if they had $10. And then they can build up to the actual problem from there. Lists and tables are a great way for students to organize work, especially when there are multiple steps. This student has continued the work from the previous slide to compare the total cost to the number of shirts purchased, and then they were able to see that with $45, the most we could purchase was 10 shirts. After looking at a couple of simpler problems, we can start to look for patterns. Here, the student noticed that we can multiply 4 by the number of shirts purchased and then add the $2 design fee to write an equation. Although sometimes it can get a bad reputation, guessing and checking still requires understanding of mathematical concepts. Here, the student took the equation we looked at before and tried different numbers representing the number of shirts purchased to look at the overall total cost, and they realized that at 8 shirts we could still buy more, but at 12 shirts we had spent over $45, so we could look at numbers between 8 and 12. In some cases, a student might choose to work backwards. Here we can see the student knew that we started with $45 and needed to subtract that design fee. This means we only had $43 to spend on t-shirts. If each t-shirt costs $4, then we can divide and see that we can purchase 10 shirts. We can't purchase that 0.75 extra shirts. No one of the methods we looked at is more correct than the others. All of them require critical thinking and all require use of mathematics. Your students' teachers will work with them in class to see the connections between each strategy to help them determine which one is the best fit for them. As parents, there are several resources available to you to assist you in supporting your students. In grades 6 through 8, all students have personal workbooks which include lessons as well as additional practice. At the beginning of each lesson, there is a family newsletter which explains the general concept as well as sample strategies which can be used to make sense of these concepts. Students can also access a digital version of their textbook by logging into iReady. As we move forward in this series, we will be taking a look at various strategies that we use in math class and comparing them to the traditional methods to help see the connections and how these representations help students make sense of the mathematics they are learning. Some things to remember. Mental arithmetic is still incredibly important. Technology, like calculators and phones, leave room for user error. It's important that students can understand the math behind the technology to know when an answer does not make sense for the problem. Also, think about who is doing the math in your household. As parents and families, we want so much to rescue our students when they get stuck. But if we start with using questions, we can help the students to make sense of the problem and persevere through that problem. And as always, remember, parents and teachers are a team. If you have a question or see an issue, please reach out to your child's teacher and they will be happy to help. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We'll see you next month.